Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. Let's get started today on the amazing Yamaguchi Wonder Woman. Now, this is Kaiyodo Revoltech's take on the classic, I shouldn't say classic, but a more modernized version of Wonder Woman. So, yeah, let's get started. I really like this because it's kind of a culmination of how far we've come for Kaiyodo. I mean, the one downside that I honestly, it annoys me a lot is the neck area being extremely long. So you pretty much have to dip her head under and over a neck peg. And I'll get to that in a second. But otherwise, everything about this figure kind of coming together the way it does is absolutely stunning and beautiful. The articulation, the movement, the removal of the shoddy joints here in the shoulder that cover up very well here. I really love everything about it. But without further ado, what we're going to do is jump into the look and articulation. So let's do that. Like I said, here we have a really fabulous modernized Wonder Woman that kind of fits its comic-like theme without straying too far with a modernized look. We have a trim of gold, her silver gauntlets, which you could have made gold as well too, but silver is what they are right now. I believe it's during the Greg Rucka run, or is it the Gail Simone stuff? I'm not sure if I remember at this time, but the color does vary, and right now they're silver. But the silver on it definitely breaks up the red, blue, gold, and I really like how that came about. Now, as far as articulation goes, as you can see, her head is kind of tucked down, but we actually can move that up. And as you can see here, the neck gets pretty long on that joint that it sits up pretty high. That is my one major gripe. As you can see here, it sits up really high. So what you can do is you can get it to sit by folding the peg forward and over, and it'll come down just a little bit. That'll kind of fix your need for it, but it may prove to be problematic in normal like standing poses. But for action shots, you won't have any issues with that. So if you're always doing action shots, you won't have a problem. Her hair is on a ball joint, so it can go up and go down. It can't rotate left and right, but it can swivel up and down with no problem. So you can have it sit right down the shoulder if you can get the head low enough, as you can see here. The eyes do move as well too, so you can have the eyes actually move. There's going to be a peg part for that. I'm not going to wait for the accessories. I'm going to show it here because I'm not going to move those eyes. I don't want to mess up that perfect symmetry I already have going. As far as the arm goes, like I said, you can actually move this joint up, because with revolver joints, it's actually pretty cool because you actually get a lot of movement going around, as you can see here. And then you can actually cover it up on Wonder Woman, so it does look pretty well covered. The hidden bicep swivel, because it allows you to turn in pretty much every which way, you get a lot of range and motion. And the arm can come all the way up. You can actually go back down. You can rotate around. The hair will get in the way, so just keep in mind for that. And with the bicep swivel, it gives you extra movement. Here at the forearm, it does the same as well too. So you can actually take the joint out, do whatever you want with it, but you do get a full bend that allows to replicate a double arm joint bend, and you get a swivel out of it. So like I said, revolver joints for the win in terms of articulation. It'll always give you what you want. And then, like I said, they've fixed that shoulder issue. So it's one of those things that I really like. As far as the upper torso goes, we can go forward. But when you go forward, you might pop it out the joint. So be a little careful with that. As you heard that pop, I popped it back in. So you can go forward. You can go backwards. You can actually tilt side to side. And there's that lower body movement that allows you to get that extra range to go forward. You can actually remove this on the side if you don't want to use the lasso at this point in time. So let's take that off. As far as the leg articulation goes, we can go outward. Oop, popped it off that ball joint. What's with me and ball joints today? That's so weird. There we go. So we actually can only get about this far right now with the hips up. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. I'm just rotating that wrong. So you can actually go all the way out. There is a thigh swivel. And it may get stuck, so what you do is, like I did earlier, pop the joint off, and that allows you to get that movement in because it may get stuck, so keep that in mind. Our leg joint can go all the way down. So this is easily replicating a double joint right there. We can move our legs outward, inward, there's a toe pivot, and you get the impossible range on this ankle joint, which is actually pretty awesome. Now, in terms of how you move with this character, showing off these joints should be very easy. Because like I said, you can actually get really good poses out of this that for some reason I always fall to the rider kick. Absolutely adore that. But more importantly, you can do other stuff like have her crouch down really, really easy. So she can actually do a 3-point stance, usually with no problem. Let's see if I could actually arrange that here for that ultimate ground pound technique. And yeah, so Wonder Woman can actually hit the floor with no problem. For her, you can do a ground pound. Crossing her arms won't be an issue for you as well either. And you can keep those arms protected as well. Standing up and doing action poses are pretty good too. So you actually get a lot covered as far as movement for this Wonder Woman, which is utterly fantastic because this is kind of what we've been waiting for. That Wonder Woman that doesn't kind of lack in some sort of area. Like I said, the neck area is a little bit of an adjustment period. So visually you may not like it, but if you are doing tons of action poses with this Wonder Woman, it won't be a problem. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to jump into the accessories. Now, with that being said, I do want to get, excuse me. That one came out of nowhere. So to start it over, I want to get her nicely posed up so we can talk about these accessories. So let's do that. And now let's jump into accessories. All right, now that we've got Wonder Woman all posed up, we're going to talk about accessories and things that she comes with. And I'm going to go over this neck joint again as well, because there is a part that you're going to need it for. Let me actually close that arm in. It's going to bug me otherwise. And I just really like the look, how this one can pose up. It's very nice. Now, as you saw, you have the eye adjustment piece. This will allow you to move eyes on either side. So they have it so where you can reach in and vice versa. Let's talk about her faceplates. So you have the normal default faceplate, which is a normal stoic face, which is fine. Wonder Woman deserves a stern look, and every now and then she's an Amazon. Then you have the Diana that loves everyone, which is the smiling face, which I very much enjoy. Even though it looks a little anime-ish, it does work out with the hair on it. Then we have the yelling head. Again, without this hair, it's looked pretty anime-ish, but it's pretty cool. And as you can see here, we have our moving eyes. Like I said, you can move in the peg piece either way. Oh, Wonder Woman fell, and I should not have allowed that because I saw it happening. That's my fault, y'all. So we can also go over the bullet ricochet effects. So these are pretty dope because you can have the bullet ricochet effects that cover on her gauntlet. And that's kind of why I pose her up this way, because I wanted you guys to see. There's going to be a part where you plug them in. And this looks absolutely fantastic if you sit there and use it as a blocking of bullets. Looks really good. Plugs right in. I suggest you twist and gently pull out, and it'll come out with no problem. You have another effect. You'll get 2 of these as well for absorbing attacks. Because, you know, magic. So you'll actually get these as well, too. This is when you deflect larger scale magic attacks or anything else if you want. Large impact effects, whichever you want. You got to use them for like when Superman's trying to punch at her, right? Then you'll get her trusty sword. Because, you know, what Amazon goddess would she be without her trusty sword? You'll also get a shield. And the shield plugs into the default hands that you'll get while going through. So what I suggest you do is you actually take off the hand and plug the hand in first, because the hand part can get a little tricky. As you see right here, I'm having a little bit of difficulty with it. That's because it is a small peg. And if you feel like it's not going to work out, actually, oh no, I'm so sorry, y'all. I did that wrong. You're actually supposed to use the sword holding hands. That's my fault. I definitely failed on that one. So you use the sword holding hands, and then you actually plug it in. Made a mistake there. Then you're going to plug along. And this is where it gets a little tricky because you're trying to line it up without damaging that peg. I suggest you heat it up if you feel like you're going to have any issues there. And then you can have her with her shield with no problem. Actually, that's an ugly pose, and I'm not going to leave her like that. I don't know why, but this doesn't feel right to me. So let me take this off. That doesn't feel right. Now, one of the things that bothers me, like I said, is this head peg. And the reason why is because there's going to be a part where you're going to swap her head and neck joint. And you're going to get another neck joint, right? So this is the normal neck joint, which I'm not sure if you guys, there it is. So as you can see, this one has a pretty horizontal, it's flat across, right? This one is going to come with a curvature neck piece. So that way, when you add her cloak, you're going to be able to plug in here and add the neck peg in. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like this design at all. While it does look utterly fantastic on her, I don't like the way it's engineered with a really long neck that otherwise it does not work for me. It doesn't work with the whole plugging in process and leaving it the way it is, because lining up this ball joint in the head actually proves pretty difficult sometimes by having to constantly switch out and do this and do that. Now, as you can see here, pretty much have to line this ball joint up as well, kind of clamber it in, which is going to give you some issues at first because even I haven't gotten used to it. So let me try from this angle. Again, this proves difficult for me sometimes because I feel like I'm always going to break things. I'm a little ham-handed sometimes. There we go. And now we're going to plug her face back in and then her hair. And you'll see that it actually sits really well on it. But the process of it and that naked neck, it doesn't look good as a standalone piece. Because with this on, she actually looks pretty fantastic. It's just the process of putting it on and making her neck seem really long is a bit of a bothersome to me. If you're not going to leave this on at all times, sometimes you got to ask yourself like, all right, how does this really look for me? You know? Sorry, I didn't realize the focus wasn't there. So as you can see right here, I really, really like this piece though. I just don't like that the process of putting on this neck and making her neck seem extra long without this is a little bit of problematic for me. But without further ado, let's continue going forward. You'll actually get the lasso in its lasso of truth form when she's using it. In her default hand, there's going to be a small peg part here. As you can see, you can plug it into the sides on each default hand. That way she uses the lasso. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. And it does hold pretty well as well too. And I really like how this came out. This was one of those things that I really enjoy how it came out. But without further ado though, we're going to jump into her hand accessories and then we're going to talk about her size-wise. So let's stand her up, make it look good. The hands that she comes with is, you'll get 2 sword holding hands. One is right there. The other one I'm going to grab right here. So you get a sword holding hand for each and a shield holding hand. This can do either one. There's also a slight trigger there. So if you want her to hold weapons, if you were Raspberry Chainsaw, that's totally for you. You'll get 2 flight-like hands, because Wonder Woman can fly in certain incarnations, if not most. Then you'll get 2 actually open action hands. You can use this for grabbing, swatting, destroying your enemies, or just in an Amazonian way that you want to do things. And that's pretty much it for the hands and the rest of the accessories. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into size comparisons. So let's get to it. All right, guys, let's jump to the size comparisons and let's get to it. First off, let me move her back a little bit. There we go. I'm going to jump to these size comparisons. So let's compare it to the Wonder Womans I have, because the best thing that kind of comes out of DC is the continuity errors that they try to fix later. And basically you can go with different costumes, different issues, different errors, and just an artist's rendition design kind of makes it pretty cool too. Because while you base it off certain ones, you can have some fun with some mixed stuff. So here we are with the classic Wonder Woman from Mezco. I don't know why I keep always hitting my light. Here we are with, what's crazy is here we are with the McFarlane Wonder Woman. And this one is based off the movie, being a 7-inch tall figure. And you can see like the size-wise, just how big they are. Here we are with the SH Fig Arts Wonder Woman. And then last but not least, we have Mafex. So we kind of have a lot of variety here. And 3 of them technically being movie figures. So we don't actually get a lot of comic Wonder Woman. Well, Mezco later on this year will get a comic one. And honestly, I like the height of the Mezco and the Mafex. Actually, I like the height across the board for these. But me and my personal belief is that this Wonder Woman should be about this tall, is because Wonder Woman being an Amazon, I realize and being a perfect goddess, she should actually be taller. She's a warrior, she's muscular, she's just as strong as Superman. So I think that she should be taller. So her being a little smaller does bother me, but not enough to make me not enjoy the figure any less. I do think that she should be bigger though. So let's take all our Wonder Womans away. And let's compare her to some other DC stuff before we jump into the mixed bag of stuff. So here we are with an SH Figuarts Harley Quinn. This is from Injustice. Then we're going to go with, let's go with Cheetah. Let's use Cheetah now. Now, the thing I like about this is that Cheetah being really big is okay as an anthropomorphic villain based off of Cheetah design. I don't think she should tower over Wonder Woman though. If anything, they should be the same height. But I do like the size that if Wonder Woman was this, but I like Cheetah's size a lot actually. So let's take these guys away. Let's talk about the DC guys, which we're gonna have Deathstroke and Batman make an appearance from Kaiyodo, the amazing Yamaguchi one. So here's Deathstroke, who at this point, I don't think my Deathstroke could even stand anymore because I've left him posed up in a certain way for God knows how long. So just bear with me. And here we are with a Batman. Now, the thing about this is I don't think that Wonder Woman should be smaller than Deathstroke and Batman. She should be about the same height. So it sucks that they couldn't make her the same height as these guys, knowing how big they made them to fit for the more American style. Especially as an Amazon, she should have been bigger. That's my personal belief. I could be wrong, but I do think that Wonder Woman should be taller. But in this scale, she kind of fits better with more import stuff than she would the other stuff, like her own Kaiyodo stuff. And just to see with the DC Essentials, here she is next to Brainiac. Now we're going to compare it to a bunch of other stuff just to see how she looks next to them. So here we are with a Lightning Collection Blue Ranger. Here we are with an SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Cougar. We have an Articulated Icons Ninja. Oh, yeah, Articulated Icons Ninja. And the reason why I had to stop for a second, because I just realized I took out my Icons Nightwing. So she does work pretty well with Icons. Forgot about this. So she works well with Icons. Not bigger than, but it's in that same scale. So let's move all these guys out. Next up, we're going to do Synthetic Human. Let's fix that leg. Then we're going to do a Mythic Legions. Last but not least, let's do a Hasbro figure. And here we have Spider-Man. All in all, I think she's a little bit on the smaller side, but still an excellent figure. I think my biggest gripe is the entire neck issue, which it kind of bums me out because I don't want to leave the cape on all the time. But imagine if I just wanted to leave her static and I didn't want to have the cape on. It'd be quite a bit of an issue. But other than that, I can highly recommend this figure if you do love posing, because she can get all kinds of impossibly cool poses. Whether it's punching, kicking, jumping, any of those things, this figure is the one for posing. If you are a poser, this is for you. So Jay, if you're on the fence about this, I highly recommend you get it because you had fun with Harley. And I know I'm gonna text you about this later anyway. But in the meantime, guys, please enjoy, please have fun. As always, please be good, do good, drink your water. Later. All right, y'all. So during my review, I said this can be used for large impacts, which is not a lie. But I totally forgot about her clanking the bracelets together. And that's exactly what this impact effect is for. So you can see what's going on. She's gonna knock them back. But I thought I should clarify that. So as always, guys, thank you for understanding. Have a good one. Later.